Gato Perro back with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Pacific Rim NECA Ultimate Edition Striker Eureka. Alright, so basically this is another figure that was reduced in scale from the 18-inch to a smaller 7-inch. And this is the second time we've gotten a Striker Eureka, and in my opinion, it already is way better just from inside the package. But first we got this awesome picture of him over at the docks in Japan. You can see right here, we got all the different mayhem going on at the bottom in Hong Kong. And then in the back we got a little helicopter. And then in the back we got another super sweet image of Striker Eureka. It is different from the front. And this one, he is in Sydney. As you can see this little structure right here. And then at the bottom it says alternate open chest with missiles, retractable dual sting blades, and removable nuclear payload. And then we can open this flap up like a little book, and it's held up by Velcro. And then we got a little specs on the inside of Striker Eureka, or like a little blueprint of them with some foreign language on the side. And then we see Striker Eureka inside the box. You can see he comes with quite a bit of accessories, and this is actually detailed like it is the inside of where the Jaegers come out at the beginning of the movie. You can see a little cart right there, and there's actually a little human also right there. Alright, so let's take a look at Striker Eureka out of the packaging. Okay, so literally just wow, this figure is just superb. It is totally awesome. NECA literally did the best job I've ever seen them do on a Pacific Rim figure. The amount of different display options we get is just tremendous. We can have them looking however we want from whatever scene we want in the movie. It comes with a ton, or well, not a ton, but a really good amount of accessories. And for the price point, which I didn't show, I got this figure for $22.99, which is just an amazing price because we got a really cool fancy looking box, a bunch of accessories, awesome paint apps, good articulation, and overall I just can't believe it. Like with Hasbro figures at a comic book store, I usually pay $25, and this guy's cheaper than that and is way more awesome. So, and he's in a 7-inch scale figure. So first of all, look at this guy. He has really good paint apps, a lot more improved than the first Striker Eureka that we got from the Series 2, which I do not own. At one point I wish I did, but now looking back at some of the reviews, it's just not as good. I remember that one looked a lot more just one single color. It didn't have as much detail, as much panel sculpting on top of the chest. It didn't have as good articulation, and from what I saw from most reviewers, it was really loose from the legs. So first, taking a look at the head sculpt, I really like how the gold paint came out. I almost wish that it kind of had that glow-in-the-dark effect that we had with the 3-pack of the ending scene. But, you know, it's just a little nitpick, as that would have been an extra cool factor to it. But overall, I'm really fine with it. And we can see a bunch of black shading and dry brushing that was throughout the entire figure, which makes it look really realistic and worn out, just like in the movie. Then we got the little detail on the top of the head. You can see the little hatch where they would come out of. We got a bunch of detail over here. They even did the bottom of the neck right there, which there's a reason for that, which we'll get to later. And they even got the little the symbol of the little bulldog right there. And we got the little GN00 something something. And I'm not sure that's accurate because I've seen that change a couple of times on the figures. But then these things on the back, the jet boosters, I guess I'll call them, did come separately, and they are hard plastic. You know, they stay on there pretty securely. You have to push with a little bit of effort, but they look real nice. And there's a little hole right there, which we'll get to with the accessory. But again, you can see there's black right there for the thrusters. You can see a bunch of detail over here. We got a little spaceship shoulders right here. And then we got over here as gauntlets, which I think they did a better job. If you wanted to retract this blades, I think they looked a little bit more natural. I thought, oh dang, well they do pop off. I'd rather they don't, but you can if you want to secure them or hide them away. But they do have the articulation just via hinge right here, and they do have a little bit of gold paint right there. And then over here on the side we got the little red right there on the inside of this thing right here. I'm not sure what that is. And we got the Striker Eureka logo right there. Then we got some red over here again on the hip section. Here we got the legs. They're not as loose as I mentioned before. A lot more really well done sculpting. We got a lot of vent stuff over here too. And then we got the feet over here. We got more red. And they did improve the ankle articulation, which I'll show later. We got a lot of really nice gunmetal color going throughout the figure, which looks really nice. And then the fist over here, it is still a single hinge. And yeah, oh well, you know, you can rotate it. So yeah, you can rotate it, and that works out really well. As good as this figure is, it is the accessories that really put it over the top for me, and I'm sure it will for you too. First of all, we got the nuclear payload over here, which is this thing that came inside the box, and it actually has articulation quite weird. But then I went to watch the movie again, or the scene, and the reason for that is that when it is about to explode, these things open up. So what they did is they just applied, I want to say that there's a ball hinge at the end of these pegs right here. You can kind of extend them and close them back up again, and they have the little nuclear paint right there with some red dots right here. You know, I think they should have probably added some blue paints if they wanted to look activated, but it's just a little nitpick. Not really too much to complain about. And you can just attach it to the back of the figure via the peg hole that I mentioned before, right there. And it is a little tough to put it in. I kind of do struggle with it. I mean, I don't want to force it all the way in because then I fear I'm probably not going to be able to get it back out. But you can kind of see like a rough way of how that would look on the figure right there. I'll probably put an image at the end of the video showing it like that, because I don't want to struggle in front of the camera just trying to take it off. So you can see it'll probably lock into place really, really well. So then the other accessory we get is probably literally the best accessory we've ever seen. It is the cannons you can attach to his chest. And they do continue the little paint app of the little dog right there, and all the little numbers are still there. And this is actually a rubber piece, and these things are the solid plastic, and they do have the black shading, or actually they have dry brushing of gray over the black, it looks like. We even got some gears over here on the sides. Now for those, we do get 3 missiles, and they're actually not the same size at all. There are 3 different sizes. We got a small, a medium, and a large right there, and they all have this translucent orange plastic at the end representing fire. And what you can do is attach them to the thing wherever you want. All 6 slots are open, so you have your choice of putting it wherever you want, like so. You can put that one on the bottom, or if you want this one over here on the top right, and it'll look just like that, and that is an awesome effect. I'm really happy they did that. Now, getting this chest piece attached to Striker Eureka is really simple. It doesn't come with any instructions of the box, but all you gotta do is basically take the bottom of his chest and just pop it off like that. You can see there's 2 slots right there, and this thing also has 2 little pegs sticking out, so you just gotta match it up and push it in, and then you got Striker Eureka with his chest open, and again you can add all the missiles to it and make him look absolutely badass, just like he did when he faced Mutavore. I think it was in Sydney, but he kicked his ass, and it looked really awesome, and it was an awesome scene, and I'm happy you can replicate this on your shelf. Now again, this guy also succeeds in articulation. First of all, his head is able to look reasonably up like that and down, and you can play around with the head a little bit to give it a little bit of hinge to the side and rock it around. Now the arms have 2 different hinges. The first one is over here on the very inner armpit right here, and then there's a separate hinge that is hidden underneath like this little spaceship thing on his shoulder. So dang, I can't even demonstrate. It barely moves at all, but you can still get the arm reasonably out like that. Again, he does have a swivel underneath the elbow joints. Underneath the elbow joint, he does have a single jointed elbow. Again, I was surprised that they added the hinge to it to move side to side. And at the diaphragm joint, there are 2 pieces. He does move kind of crunch back and then forward very little. He can pivot just a tiny bit. He does have a little bit of a waist swivel right there. His legs can go forward just a tiny bit, but you can swivel the hinge at the thigh a little bit to bring it up more forward, and you just swivel the foot to give it a higher kick. He does have a single jointed knee, which doesn't really meet 90 degrees, but that's fine. And then the hinge is basically just a peg with a ball joint that connects to the foot, so you can get that into an ankle rocker either side, and you can move it up actually more forward than back. But yeah, really good articulation. Really happy with the Striker Eureka. Let's get to some size comparisons. This being a NECA figure, he stands at the usual 7 inches. First, here he is compared to the Hong Kong Brawl GFC Danger, and I really thought they would be around the same scale. Apparently he's still shorter than him, and I thought that was an error they made with the first release of the Striker Eureka, but apparently this is his actual height considering that they did it twice. Either way, he looks really good next to the Striker Eureka. And we will be getting an ultimate version of this guy. I'm not sure if he will be the exact same sculpt as him, but the difference is he'll come with the a light up chest piece, the fire thing that comes out of his chest as well, and it'll come with the plasma cannon and the sword all in one. So I'm kind of confused if I want to get that since I already have this one, but still. Alright, here he is next to my only other kaiju. This is the knife head. I would really like it if they redid a leatherback, or maybe, I still need to get my Itachi, but I can't wait till they release the Mutavore and the Heart ship, because those are absolutely massive. But yeah, this guy over here is much more in the 25 price range, as those will be 60. But you can see this guy stands in pretty good scale to each other. And lastly, well, I guess he's technically a kaiju, but it is the NECA 2014 Godzilla figure. And yeah, he's extremely short, so I don't think they would go in scale. I still want to pick up my 24-inch one, which has been a year, but oh wait, it's been 2 years. But still, if you want to have these 2 guys together, I don't know, then we look at a scale. For my final thoughts, I gotta say this guy is absolutely tremendously amazing. If you're a Pacific Rim fan like I am, which I've never actually shown any kind of devotion toward on my channel or mentioned it before, but I love that movie. It is literally like I will say either it is spot number 1 or 2 of my go-to movie for when I have a good time. The fights are awesome. I really hope they release Pacific Rim 2 Maelstrom and the animated series that Guillermo del Toro has been talking about. And yeah, I really hope that NECA continues the line of Pacific Rim figures. I don't know which other ones they can release because we still haven't gotten the ones from the final fight, the one that looks like a giant octopus. But yeah, this figure is absolutely amazing. I believe it's a Striker Eureka we should have gotten from the beginning. But since we have it now, and I think NECA's improved a lot since 2013, they have definitely stepped up the game, and definitely one of my favorite companies. Although I don't own that many figures of them, I definitely recognize that they are a really good company. Their figures are just fantastic. Their price range is just unbelievable. They're actually pretty cheap, and they have such good paint after articulation. Their scale is way bigger. So them and Marvel Select are actually one of my top 2, like for comic book retailers. Obviously, imports are a whole different thing. That's like ordering online. And Hot Toys are out of my price range. But back to this guy. Absolutely amazing. I think he would definitely be like a solid 9.5 for me. Totally amazing. I would definitely highly recommend it if you see him. His price range is $22, and you can order him online too. So, Gato Perro out.